and very good evening to everybody. Good to be here. It's unfortunate that Piyush, due to a personal emergency, couldn't actually be here today. But instead, we've got a very, very able substitute who is Ramneek. Ramneek is the co founder of Lenskart, while Piyush is largely the public face. Ramneek is the man behind the scenes, heads the entire technology engine, and in addition to that, also heads the India business, which is about 90 odd percent of the total Lenskart business. Lenskart's been an amazing story. I think a lot of us respect it for the fact that it's it's built in India, built by Indians, and for us, it's been a company which actually has grown over the years, and both in terms of revenues, in terms of the numbers of stores, and also in terms of valuation. What I'd like to, spend some time with Ramnik is about the fact that Lenskart started online. And when it started online, it started because all the founders were very familiar with technology. Piyush and Amit used to actually run a classifieds.com business catering to a very specific segment, which is college students. And then from there, progressed into a variety of personal accessories like watches and jewelry and glasses and things like that. And then figured out that glasses in the optical area would probably be the best opportunity, and that's how they focused on Lenskart. So when Lenskart went, uh, and when I say Omni, I think at that stage it was more about the fact that they were online and they were cautiously stepping out into the offline area. And what I'd like to ask Ramneek is about the fact that when you all decided at Lenskart to move offline, what actually prompted you to move offline? Why weren't you happy just being online?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Firstly, Biju, thanks for that generous introduction. Now, coming back to the question that you asked, early days when we were online, we started with the website and then later on the application came. We didn't had a lot of performance or social media marketing dollars to spend on. So we were literally obsessing about every single customer and calling them and understanding why they are not able to make the purchase. Data at the time was pretty much useless because it wasn't in plenty, and one purchase or one cart ad would change it significantly. So it was all about qualitatively calling consumers and understanding what are they going through. Every time we did this call, one out of the three problems came back over and over again on why they are not able to make their purchase. It was never about, that the website is not looking pretty enough, or the products are not that great, or the pricing is not tempting. It was always either that I do not know where to get my latest prescription from, or how do I know what size of glasses will fit me well? Because unlike other mature categories like shoes or t-shirt, sizes of glasses are not very well known. Even the people in the audience who are wearing glasses, which is about 50% here, they wouldn't know the size of the glasses that they're wearing. And the third question was, how would they look on my face? So these three were typically the questions which came across. And we tried our best, and we tried several things to do to answer that question. The very first thing that we tried out is we tried out a trial tool online. It started with a very basic 2D tool where you take a picture and glasses would pop up on your face. It has evolved into a high fidelity augmented reality tool now. We also experimented by sending people to customers' houses to get eye checkup done, much like Urban Company, but before Urban Company. And then here and there, we started doing some pop up stores. When we did our pop-up stores, the very first realization that we got is that almost immediately footfall came in plenty. There was a lot of people that knew about us that wanted to experience Lensguard, so that wasn't a problem that we had from the very get-go. But we being purists, it was a pathetic experience because once you have got your eye test done, we were expecting you to go back to the website and place the order, and and that was completely flipped. We were thinking from our point of view, not from the consumer's point of view at that point, and that's when we started to make the change, and we said that okay, the customer is here, they've got their eye test done, they want to spend another 10 minutes to get the order in, we might as well do it fully, completely. And that's how our journey started off offline stores.
Great. So I think from what you just said, yes, what you're saying is that there was friction in the sale, and you actually put up stores in order to be able to address that friction. And consequently, did you see any changes in the kind of products that you were selling? Were you beginning to start selling, let's say, more prescription eyewear rather than sunglasses or anything else like that?
Yeah, category wise, I think online sunglasses and contact lens was much easier to sell. It still is. But eyewear prescription became much bigger part of the chunk because it was much easier for consumers to buy it online, offline at stores, right after getting their eye checkup done. Another thing which changes in online, a lot of people were buying zero power glasses primarily either for the looks or for saving themselves from the computer blue screen which is there. But in online, it was very heavily the majority of the market which is looking for prescription glasses.
Okay. When you decided to go offline, and I think this question was asked earlier also to Varun, uh, as to what channel did you want to first? You know that you're going offline. Within offline, there are multiple ways you can actually go out to reach the consumer. You can be a shop in shop in a department store. You can actually take over a few existing optical outlets and rebrand them to what you are. You can create a concept, a business model, as was mentioned in the report, and then figure out how to extend that business model through a franchise route. You can do a distribution model. So, how exactly did you work? I mean, how did you decide what would be the best fit for you?
I think once we answered the question that whether we are an e-commerce company or a company which wants to solve the vision problem for the country and e-commerce is just a channel, then it brought in a lot of clarity of what route we want to take in. So when you are going after solving the vision problem, it was very, very clear that the biggest problem to solve is of eye test. A, providing it in a very, very high quality because not all across the country you get the right setup to have eye test in all the regions. And we wanted to provide it in abundance where it is available to everywhere in multiple different regions. So for doing so, we wanted a format which we can uniquely create, which has enough space dedicated to just ITIS facilities. And that forced us to go with the EBO model where we have to redesign the space as per us. Another thing that we wanted to change is that once your prescription is ready. At that time, eyewear was sold much like jewelry, where it was kept behind the counter. You had to point towards an eyeglass, and then someone would come and give it to you. We wanted to make it like a online experience where you just open the app and start trying one glass after the another. So that also required a significant change in the layout that we needed to have. So all of these consumer problems led us to opening and going to the EBO model, which we control fully end to end.
And in the EBO model, you can either use franchisees, or you can decide that you want to do it yourself. Given that all of y'all are technologists at heart, and not from a retail background, what 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 were the criteria that you decided on in terms of why should you do what you did?
So we decided to do a mix of both franchisee and company operated stores. We primarily do company operated stores in the regions where we have high density because it allows us to have a little bit more free hand in terms of investments that we want to make. We want to continuously upgrade the technology that we put in stores for getting eye tests done. We want to continuously upgrade the technology which is used for interacting with the consumers. We want to have higher churn of glasses as we launch more and more new glasses. We typically launch about 40 collections in a year. So we want all of those collections to be available at the store for consumers to try on. So all these require investment, and a company operated model allows us to do that. So that is the flexibility that we get with company operated model. On the other hand, we have franchisee operated model in more far flung areas because there we don't have enough reach or enough personnel available, and it allows us to have franchisee as an entrepreneur partner with us to open up those regions for us.
So when you actually opened up this chain of stores, both franchise and company, and you got customers coming in, and customers walking into the stores, doing an eye test, figuring out what their prescription was. Some of them said that, okay, fine, I'll buy from the store. Some would have gone on to say that, why should I now go to the store? I've got a prescription. Why don't I go back online and buy? Uh, but then the customer is the same. And what are the kind of things that you did to be able to make sure that you tracked it at a customer level and not at a transaction level?
So coming from online, we were very used to having a high level of data trackability. So we, like I said, we were obsessing about every customer who's coming into our website or app and dropping off and purchasing or not purchasing. We wanted to have a very similar setup because that intuitively made sense to us and clicked for us. So for doing so, what we did is we tried and slowly started replicating the online traceability in offline. Uh, so just to give you as an example, even before we start, the location of the store is actually decided by this company, which we are one of the investors in, which is GeoIQ, which takes into account a lot of data about what is the location, what are the nearby ATMs available, how many ATMs are international, what is the kind of uh, food that is consumed at Zomato in these areas and things like that. And it takes all that data point and give us with a very high amount of certainty where we should open the store location within a locality. So we start there. Then once it is opened, every time a consumer
Does it
walks
also
in,
give you the potential?
yes, yes.
It
So
does.
it gives us a very good sense of what to expect from the store, how many walk-ins, what kind of clientele we can expect. Once the store opens up, the second thing that we do is we try to get the same amount of traceability in the store as well, where we have a company which is based out of Chennai, Tango Eye, and it uses AI on top of the regular CCTV footage to give us rich data of what kind of people are walking in, what is the demographic, what age, what kind of areas are they getting together in, and what are the areas which are being abandoned, what is the sale through of a particular new collection that we launch, and which ones are doing really, really well. So, with all that information, we are able to track how many people got into the store at what time, what was the conversion rate, what was the user flow that they followed. So, all of this helps us in making sure that the journey for consumer in offline comes as close to online as possible. On top of it, what we do is we establish the key for the consumer as their phone number. So once they enter the store, because 80% of the customers that enter to Lenskart store have to get their eye test done, we typically take their phone number with their permission to put them in the eye test queue. That allows us instantly to get some information to our sales agent to give them an idea that Ramneek has been browsing online. He's interested in black eyeglasses, is interested in aviator frames. He has come from this particular meta ad, and this is most likely what he's looking for. So that allows us to have a component of personalization and recommendation in offline as well, which typically is not seen.
Okay. And then finally, when you think about the sales process, the in most offline cases, what does happen is that you have merchandise in the store, and customers walk in, they look, they like, they buy, they take the merchandise and they go. Uh, in your case, you have a very different model. In your model, from what I understand, is that you only have a display. You don't sell. The only things I understand you sell from your stores are sunglasses, contact lenses, and contact lens solutions. Anything which is in the prescription space is to be ordered in store. How do you make sure that you integrate the entire supply chain? If somebody is ordering in the store and obviously it's a need, then how do you make sure that they actually get it in time? What is the kind of work that you do in order to be able to integrate the supply chain?
Yeah. So typically, eyeglass is a unique product because unlike a lot of things like shirt, t-shirt, shoes, it is a make-to-order product, and an eyeglass which is made for me is not going to work for anyone else because it is as per my prescription. So the work that our supply chain team does is actually very unique because what we have done is they have taken a process which is make to order and scaled it to the level where you can now get eyeglasses delivered the next day, pretty much how quickly you would expect a pair of shoe to get delivered from any other e-commerce
I mean,
company.
I can order in Bangalore today.
Yeah.
and you will deliver the eyeglass to me the next day.
Yes. So we offer
Where does it come
within
from?
Bangalore. Within Bangalore, we offer it in 2 days, and some other cities we offer in 1 day. But it comes from our central facility in Delhi, and that allows us to significantly scale much faster because all the complexity of manufacturing glasses is kept in one place, centralized.
So, so how does that whole thing work? What's the technology which powers that?
So it is okay. So when you enter the store, what we do is we take your prescription. It is entered into our iPads, and that then goes to our central facility for manufacturing. And then we have connections with the flights directly, which allow us to then deliver it next day directly from the
So
plant.
if I come into your store in Bangalore, say at 4 o'clock in the evening, and you take, you do an eye check, you generate a prescription, I order the frames and the lenses that I want. Then after that, instantaneously it goes back to the factory.
Yeah, so it goes back instantaneously. B frame has certain benefit to it because it is the only product that we sell. We are able to use advanced technologies like ASRS, automatic stacking and retrieving solutions, which allow us to pick the glass from the storage very very quickly. Additionally, because we are aggregating the demand from almost from 1500 plus stores online and home visits in one place, it allows us to keep a large amount of lens inventory ready at the central location, which we would not have been able to do if we were in a distributed model. And because of that reason, we are able to pick, manufacture and ship the glasses out in couple of hours.
So today, if I order, you can actually make the product and ship it from your place
Yeah, it will
tomorrow
get shipped. It'll get shipped out within the same day. Yes.
within the same day.
Yes.
Okay, great. What are the other technology initiatives that you've taken?
Yeah, so primarily it is to look at using this machine learning data to decide where to open stores at a faster rate. Then we look at a lot of technology to make sure that we are able to track everybody who's coming into the store and exiting the store, and what is the conversion funnel looking like. We actually spend a lot of time on that, figuring out the hot zones, what is the what are the areas where customers are getting confused on, and how can we make that buying journey easier for them. We spend a lot of time on our augmented reality technology, which is used on our application, where a consumer can try out multiple glasses in by just giving access to their camera, and they can flip through 1500 glasses in 30 to 60 seconds very very quickly. We use also a very very proprietary tech which is unique to us, wherein once you take selfie on our app, we are able to tell you which size glasses will fit you well, because we have anonymized data of all the purchases that has happened over the last 10 years plus. We're able to predict what size of glasses will fit you well, and additionally we are also able to find out what kind of glasses look best on you, because we are able to see what glasses people buy, then keep, and which are the ones that they don't return, to allow us to give you those recommendations.
One of the challenges is a lot of online retailers face. You see, when you're online, you have one warehouse, you have one location, you have one app or one website. All customers come to you. You have one contact center, one way of being able to process information, one way in which you will respond to the customer. You've got now, I understand, 1,500 stores in India. And in 1,500 stores, you have 1,500 into what, five per store?
Yes.
Yeah. So 7,500 employees who are interacting with customers. Uh, how challenging is it? Is in order to be able to provide a consistent story across these 7,500 employees? Recruitment, training, alignment, sales pitch, all of these things.
No, I think that has been the most interesting challenge for us to tackle, and something that we are still learning on, because every day these five people greet more than 50 to 60 consumers a day, and for them those five people, our team members, are the representative of the brand. So no matter what we talk about in our TV commercials or on the product that we are selling, the brand for them is the people that they are interacting with. So we spend a lot of time in making sure how are these people being hired, what are the kind of things that we are looking for, what kind of attributes are we over indexing on in terms of their behavior, and then what are the things that we are teaching them once they are in. Another component to it which is very very interesting for us to solve is how the eye test is also done, because it is not a objective eye test much like any other medical checkup. It is a subjective eye test and is dependent on lot on the questions being asked to you by the person doing the eye test. It becomes interesting to make sure that as you get this prescription from multiple people, it is a high quality prescription. And for doing so, we are now tapping into AI a lot, where we are working on a model which will essentially act like a co-pilot for the Optum who's doing your eye test, so that the Optum is able to get to the right eye test prescription at a much faster time and also at a much higher accuracy rate.
Great. I know we could go on and ask more questions. I'm sure the audience has got a lot to ask. So, if you, with your permission, is it okay if the audience were to ask you a
Please.
few questions? We've got one person in front here.
Yeah. Hi, Ramnik. At the outset, I have to congratulate you on the way Lenskart has evolved and has cut across all positionings, because what it started out as a vision correcting mission has now become style as well. And one of the things that you've done in that is you've increased your TAM by also tapping into people who do not typically wear glasses, and that includes people like me as well, by virtue of that style. How did you, one, cut across the various positioning that this is expensive, this is value, and this is stylish? Now the CEO to the janitor of the company all wear Lenskart proudly. How did you do that? That is one. And secondly, becoming expanding your TAM outside of people who typically just wear glasses, was that a conscious decision or not? Because with all these anti-glare things that you came up with.
So I'll answer the second question first. I think the decision to make sure that it the glasses becomes a style statement and even a part of the lifestyle more than beyond the vision correcting device was a very very conscious decision on our part. In fact, we tap into a lot of communities which get formed around things like K-pop, etc., and launch specific collections for them. The reason for this is, a, it is a device that you wear directly on your face, so it is very close to you. And the way we see it, glasses are here right now where shoes were 20 years back, where we used to have a black shoe and a white shoe, one for sports and one for school. And now you get a pair of shoes for everybody, for every occasion. So that is what we are trying to tap into. And what we have done is we have launched different collections for different communities in a way where they are able to relate to it very well. Everything from sporting community to K-pop community to even entrepreneurial community with hustler glasses. So that is one part. In terms of attracting different market segment, I think it has to do with my first answer. The way we go after each community, understand their needs. Like runners have a different need in terms of glasses versus a person who's working 18 hours a day and trying to build something up on their own. And what we try to do is we try to invest a lot of time in terms of product specification, in terms of designing that material to the communication that we are doing to that community and who's doing that communication. And that is what allows us to go through a large number of TAM, everyone from CEO to running community to different other communities. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi.
So, Ramni, two questions. One is, now that you've scaled up and you're looking forward, what are some of the unknowns that still keep you awake at night or you're most curious to learn about in the next 5 years? And when you look back as a leader, what was harder than you thought? Product building, team building, or distribution?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last bit of your question.
Yeah, I'll repeat. I mean, as a leader, now that you've built an organization at scale and you look back in time, right? What was harder for you or for the team? Product building, which is a combination of, let's say, the technology stack, the glassware that we're talking about, your facility in Delhi, distribution, which is what we're talking about at Lens right now, or just building the organization itself. So that's a little bit more looking at the past. And now, what are you most curious to learn next 5 years?
Yeah. So on the first question, at the current scale, the thing that we are working the most on, or the thing that we are most concerned or taking up the most of the time, is how do you make sure that every interaction that is happening across all our touch points, be it online or at store or at consumer's home, is a high class one. It is very similar to the question that Biju asked, that as you open up different touch points for a consumer, that interaction is what Lenskart is. And we have to make sure it is a high quality one. And for doing so, we are using a mix of, you know, tapping into the right vision and getting everyone behind the right vision and mission of the company, to using all the tools across AI available, so that all the motions which are there can be choreographed, and to an choreographed to the extent so that they are very easily reproducible and repeatable by everyone. And ideally, technology is assisting them along the way. So when you enter the store, like I mentioned, the agent gets to know what is your history, what are the things that you're looking for. So that we are not necessarily 100% relying on the judgment of the individual, but also giving them the tools so that they're able to get you to the right shelf and get you to the right product. Similarly, on iTest side, where much like coding, we are trying to get to co-pilot of iTest, so that we are able to get you to the right accurate iTest in a much faster fashion. So that is one part which is taking up most of the time, and I think it will over the next couple of years, providing consistency in all our interactions. On the second question, in terms of product building, team building, and distribution, while the most time I would say in the past has gone in product building, and when I say product, it is both the products. It is the physical product, because we were scaling a make to order product, so we spent a lot of time in making sure that the supply chain is right. Because end of the day, no matter whatever you do, if the customer has to walk around with a headache, it is just not going to work out. So that is the first thing that we had to spend a lot of time on. And then the technical product, so that the product that we are selling is is a little different than, you know, shoes and t-shirts, where you have to take a lot of medical prescription and make sure that it is digitized and then the right glasses get dispensed. So a lot of time went in that. But in terms of what was the hardest, I think building the right team to deliver this was the hardest.
Yeah. What's the scale at which you're operating? I mean, suddenly this question came to my mind. How many glasses do you all make per day?
We right now make more than
25, 30,000?
more than a million glasses in a month. Yeah.
More than a million a month. It's about 30,000 glasses a day. And to be able to get each one customized, 30,000 every day for that customer, and to make sure that you make the right one and you deliver to the right person, I guess that's a huge challenge.
And for challenging customers, deliver it next day.
Wonderful.
All right.
Sorry, any more questions? Yeah, we've got a minute and 45 seconds. Sure, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Hi. So there are three type of customers in my family. I'm a Lenskart consumer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My mother was a Titan Plus consumer, and my husband is a local um,
Eyewear customer.
eyewear sellers consumer. So now at the stage that you're in, I'm presuming, because I'm not an expert on your market, but I'm presuming that there are two types of competition that you're dealing with. One is at the level that you're in. So you have Titan Eye Plus, you have John Jacobs. And the second segment is where in each city that you have the store in, you also have the local player who has a captive market. So now from this stage onwards, I would like to know how you're planning to, capture the consumer's pocket, so to speak.
Yeah. So I think this is a very, very interesting category, because what happens in this category is it is beyond the accessory that you're wearing. There is a medical component attached to it. So because of this, once you get the first eyeglass right for a consumer, they stick around with you for a very long time, because it's like switching doctors, where there is a high amount of friction which is there in the category. So it both presents a opportunity and a difficulty. So the difficulty is how do I convince your husband to switch to Lenskart? But the opportunity is that once we do that, we don't have to spend on new user acquisition over and over again, and that is where we spend a lot of time on. In terms of affordability, I think we have been there. We are working a lot on making sure that the physical product that we are selling, that stands out now, because it is something that the frames that you get at Lenskart, you won't get it anywhere. The variety of frames that you'll get and the different targets, and the variety that you get for each consumer segment, that you won't find in anywhere else. So I think that is the main reason why we are seeing a lot of switch happening these days.
So when I look at your family, I would try and upgrade your husband to Lenskart, saying that he's making a poor choice buying from the local optician, and get your mother-in-law, mother, to say that why should she pay such high prices when she can get far more affordable glasses?
And we are, and Biju is a salesman, so
Sure. Thank you. I've got the screen which says time's up and is blinking. So thank you very much,
you.
Ramnik, for that lovely session. Thanks a lot. Yeah.